Tonight, as Angela said, we are playing Cthulhu Dark, a game of Lovecraftian horror created by Graham Walmsley. It's a rules-light system. It's very much in the play-to-lose philosophy. Things do not end well for the protagonists of Lovecraft stories, and this, in many of them anyway, and this game leans heavily into that idea. The system is incredibly simple. Each PC has two stats, Insight and Occupation. Insight is a measure of the PC's sanity. It's a track of how much of the true nature of the universe they may have glimpsed. It's a scale from 1 to 6, with 6 being permanent insanity. And their occupation is just that. It's what they do for a living, and this may come into play when a character attempts to do some kind of action. There are 2 actions that a character can do. Investigate and do something else. When a character tries to perform an action, the player describes what the character is attempting to do, and if the action is something that a human could conceivably do, the player rolls a single 6-sided dice, and this is called the human die. If the character's occupation offers some kind of expertise or advantage to that action, the player can add a second die to the pool, which is called the occupation. If the character is then willing to risk their sanity to carry out this action, they can also add their insight die to the pool. The result of the highest die dictates the success of the action. A 1 to 3, the character succeeds, but only gets the bare minimum amount of information required to proceed with their investigation. Or they succeed in doing something else, but there may be a consequence, or the character may succeed, but not in the way that they were expecting. 4 means the character succeeds in a competent fashion, and a 5 means that the character succeeds in the best humanly possible way. 6, on the other hand, means that the character succeeds, but gains some supernatural insight into the true nature of the universe, and must immediately then make an insight check. And the insight check is made whenever a character witnesses some fright. The insight die is rolled, and if the result is higher than the character's current insight value, their insight increases by 1 point until they reach 6, at which point player narrates the character's descent into madness and their character the game. There is a small caveat to this. Once the character's insight track reaches 5, they can attempt to lower it by 1 point by hampering the investigation in some way or destroying evidence. If they succeed in this attempt, they may roll the insight die again, and if the roll is lower than their current insight, they may reduce their insight track by 1. And they can keep doing that as often as they like, regardless of that, the insight track can never be lower than a 1 or higher than a 6. Is that okay, guys? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
I think so. Yep.
Okay. If you want to collaborate, if 2 or more characters collaborate on something, you all roll the dice as normal, and the highest result dictates whether or not the action is a success. And there is a nice little way for players to fuck each other over as well. And if a character is attempting to do something else, and one of the other players decides it might be more interesting for them to fail in that, might be more interesting story, the second player can describe how the action failed and then roll what's called the failure die. And if their result is higher than the player whose character, failure occurs in exactly the way that the interfering player describes. The failure die can never be used to negate investigate. It's only on their rolling. Is that okay? Are we all clear? It's fairly so. It sounds more complicated than it is, probably. Let's not worry about it too much.
Just to be interested in the part of how much you can fuck other players over.
I know, right? Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
So our scenario, it begins aboard the Isabella, which is a riverboat belonging to Jose, who is being played by Max. It is March 1938, and the Isabella left Manaus, Brazil, a few days ago. heading upriver to resupply the Tortoroli expedition, a scientific endeavor that's been funded by the University of Sao Paulo to explore several sinkholes deep in the Amazon basin in search of new flora. And the journey upriver has been slow and tedious, and you've been harassed by mosquitoes almost incessantly. The Isabella is somewhat dilapidated, peeling paint flakes off of all of her timbers, and there's a constant smell of diesel that seems to permeate everything. And a faint cloud of black smoke trails behind the boat whenever the engine. I'd like you all to introduce your characters. You can use the information that's provided in the notes section of the character sheet. You can reveal as much or as little of the information. That is entirely up to you. And I think I'm going to start with... well, let's start with Antonio as you're the bottom. I don't know, Ange, right?
Muted.
Yeah, muted, kiddo.
I am Antonio, and my brother is Carlos. We are looking for work because my football career went up the spout when I got a knee injury. So I am now unemployed and broke. But Francisco, our cousin, told us that we might get a job. That was deep in the jungle, so we're currently here hoping that we can just get some work and get some money, you know. So I don't care what we do, just desperate to earn some money.
Cool. Shall we move on to Jose? Are you able to
Jose is an older gentleman. He speaks with a very deep I think it's Portuguese accent, you know, he like when he does speak English.
Sure.
He kind of walks with a slight limp, because he hobbles around the ship, basically trying to fix what he can, hammering a couple boards and stuff, and he's always grumbling about, like, you know, always why he can't just keep the ship up, and he keeps quiet to himself and always just watching everybody else. And he just right now is just steering the boat where it needs to go, and he's just quietly being as to himself.
You muted.
Giovanna. That's because I was coughing.
Yeah, so my character's Giovanna. I'm a housewife and a cook. I boarded this vessel ship to travel down to the Tortoroli expedition to see about joining them and being their cook. Looking forward to seeing my husband again, who is on the expedition and asked me to come down to help them.
Thank you very much. So how about Carlos?
Okay, just checking, it's Portuguese we speak and not Spanish, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hola, mi nome es Carlos.
There's always one.
I am Carlos, and like my brother Antonio, I'm also unemployed. I did the wrong thing in university. I studied mathematics because that's what my brain was capable of, but there's no work in Brazil for a mathematician, so I, like my brother, I'm going to hopefully get some work on this expedition.
Fantastic. And Roach.
Hi, I'm Roach. I'm the youngest here. I'm 15, and I have been sent by my master to fight evil as a test of manhood. I don't know what his mind is up to, but sending a 15-year-old to fight evil can be good parenting, but okay.
No, man, sounds like a great idea to me. I think we should send
I'm
more
a native.
15-year-olds off the Amazon.
Of the Amazon, so because I am, well, can't say Indian because I'm not from India, but...
Okay, so, bearing in mind that little, tiny little bit of information that we have found out about each of these characters, I want to go back to Antonio, and ask you, Antonio, which character aboard the Isabella do you trust? Trust Carla.
My brother, yes.
Your brother Carlos.
Yes.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Jose, out of all of these reprobates aboard your boat, which one do you trust the most?
It would probably be Giovanni. Giovanni. Because as being a fellow person of wise age of her as herself, would probably have a better head on her shoulder than some of the younger ones.
Okay. Giovanna, what about you?
I think at the moment it probably.
I mean, you don't have to give me a reason why. I just explain that as well. You don't have to give me a reason if you haven't got one. It's just who you think you might trust.
Off the top of my head, it would be Jose.
Okay, thank you. Carlos.
So, my brother.
Okay, your brother Antonio. That makes perfect sense to me.
I was looking up how to say trust only God in Portuguese, but I'm not that clever.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, kudos though. What about you, Roach?
Well, nobody trusts me apparently, but
Nobody trusts a 15-year-old kid, mate.
Yeah, what's a
I would
15-year-old
say
kid?
Jose because he let me on the boat.
Oh, okay. Right, fine. So going back to Antonio, who do you distrust?
Jose.
Oh, okay. Right.
He's a bit offhand, a bit rude.
Okay.
maybe a
Jose. What about you?
Well,
Who do you distrust?
Well, it'd probably be some of the younger ones because, him growing up, every new generation is never like their old one, so they're like, set in their ways, but it's that he doesn't distrust Roach too much because it's more that he's more native, so he's more superstitious himself. It's like some of his family is, because if you probably notice, he has like a talisman from a tribal that he got. He doesn't say how, but he's like, Roach would probably not have noticed it, and he kind of just sits there, kind of rubs it for a little bit, and sticks it in his jacket and his coat once in a while.
Okay. So, is there anybody in particular that he distrusts, or is it just the...
It's more probably Antonio and Carlos because, as you said, they're younger, but it's just, they're looking for work, but it's he just has a little bit of mistrust for anybody that
I don't blame you. They're shifty-looking pair, to be quite honest. Giovanna.
It'll be Roach.
Roach.
He doesn't trust in all the shaman stuff.
No, fair enough. And Carlos.
I've got to say I'm a bit worried about a 15-year-old kid being on the expedition, so Roach, I think.
Okay.
Sorry,
yeah,
brother.
and Roach. You can't choose yourself, by the way. I just...
But I have an issue with self-trust. Well, I would almost say I distrust the brothers.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Twofer. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if you cheat one, the other one will come up will fight for the other one. So yeah, trust one, you have to trust the other.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see if this works then. Hopefully we should all be shifting scene.
Yes.
Yes.
So here we are. We've been heading up the Amazon River. The journey up the river to the Tortoroli expedition's last known location, which would be known to Jose. He's been here before. It takes 6 days, and it's an arduous trip. Well, arduous in so much as it's dull, very dull, mosquito. The boat is not the most... The boat is not the most comfortable mode of travel. And so it's been quite a difficult trek. Now, there is a handout for all of you that you can find if you look in the journal tab, which I'll highlight there for you if you can see that.
Okay.
Yep, you can click on that tab and then go to handouts. You'll see that there is a handout there, which is a list of people that are on the Tortoroli expedition that you know of. And you will have found this information out as you were traveling upriver for the past 6 days. And so it's probably about mid-morning when, Jose, you realize you're approaching the base camp where the Tortoroli expedition had first left the boats. And you can see sticking out of the water, out into the water, there's a wooden jetty. It's quite a solid, well-made thing. It extends about 15 feet out from the riverbank. Mm-hmm. It's where you would have anchored up before when you were here previously. And as you get closer, you can see that the jetty is still there, absolutely fine. But there seems to be something sticking up out of the water near the jetty. And as you get closer, you see that it appears to be the prow of a boat.
So he would pilot the ship around it and see what face it the opposite side. So it, like, just be careful if there's a ship under. He doesn't want to run it, and he will get ready for dock, and he will yell over to everyone else. It's like, and he points out, it's like, be careful. There is seems like a remnant of a boat down there.
Yeah, as you get close, as you kind of draw up alongside the jetty, looking over the side, you can see just below the surface of the water, you can see the rest of this boat. You will recognize it, Jose. It is definitely the remains of the motorboat, one of the motorboats the motorboat that the expedition traveled up here with originally. You've been up here doing the odd resupply for the, and so you recognize this vessel sticking out of the water. It appears to have been sunk. You can just make out its outline below the water. What's everybody doing?
I just look over and go, is that normal? Or is it?
Yes, it's a submarine.
Exactly what I was about to ask. Is it normal to see crash ships along here, Jose?
No, it's. Could I tell if it was intentional, or was it like somehow got washed up and?
Let's tell you what. I think we're gonna make a roll here, just because. I think it might be interesting. So what I get you to do, if you open up your character sheet, and you're gonna click investigate. And that should open up another little window with some check boxes in there. Now, you'll certainly tick the first box, which is your human die, as I said.
Okay.
Yeah. Because of your occupation, I think you can also check that second box too.
Okay.
Now, if you're willing to risk your sanity for this...
no, not right now. Okay. He's just looking at it. So then I just click the roll.
So you just click the roll button, and we'll see what comes up. Oh, you succeed brilliantly. But you probably see a little bit more than you want with a 6.
Oh.
Okay. So as you're looking down at this boat, you can see around the edge there is like you can make out there is a hole actually in the bottom of the boat, and around that, just below the surface, you can see what looks like something like it's been attacked with a hatchet or an axe or something, as somebody's deliberately smashed the bottom out of this boat. And something comes to your mind that this boat must have been scuttled. They must have done this. Somebody has sabotaged this boat deliberately. And you can't get it out of your head that maybe they did it to stop anybody from leaving.
Yeah, Jose just, looks at there. You see his face kind of like goes blank for a second. He like really studies it. He's like in front of the boat, and he he just smirks for a bit, shakes his head. It's like, we may need to be careful. I believe the their boat was purposely sabotaged. So I do not know what to expect here. It's been some time since I've been here.
So how much of this boat's still above the water?
It's just the prow. You can still see the shape of it below the water. The water's, although it's murky, you can still make out the shape of the boat below the water because it's not incredibly deep. It's kind of sat fairly close to the jetty, and so there is. You can definitely see the shape of the motorboat below the water. It's just that the prow is kind of raised up because the back end has obviously sunk down.
I'll step forward a little bit, looking at it and just be like, so this is normal? Do boats... How often do you find boats like this? Do you know whose it is?
I believe this is the boat they came up on, and as I said, it is purposely sabotaged. I did not know if it was somebody among their among the team here or crew, but it seems like it's purposely done. Though it's like, does Jose know that somebody would greet them if his ship, his boat arrives here? Would somebody greet them, or would he have to go up there and meet somebody?
Yeah. So I guess what you would know that. In fact, probably most of you would know that this is the base camp, and the expedition would have moved out from here. But there would have been some people left here. Probably some of the labourers would have been here, particularly, or one or two of them. There are 3 labourers in the group. 1 or 2 of them may have been kept back here to help offload the boat when it gets here, if there are supplies and things like that, and to maintain the camp. There doesn't appear to be anybody here. There's nobody greets you along the jetty, and it all seems very quiet, other than the sound of jungle.
Can we still pull up to the jetty?
Yes, you can certainly do that. Yeah.
So, I'll just say, Jose, there's no one here. Should I jump across with a rope and tie us up?
Would probably be for the best. He gets close as he can for you to jump over, and he he sets it off and pulls the keys out and sticks it in his pocket.
Cool.
So I just jump across.
Completely quiet, right?
Sorry, Roach.
You said it was completely quiet.
Well, there are sounds of the jungle, the rainforest around you. That's still definitely present.
So it's not a weird quiet, because otherwise even the jungle animals would be quiet.
No, that's right. It's not unnaturally quiet, I should say.
Okay.
We were expecting people here, though.
Yeah.
I jump across and start tying up.
Okay. Yeah, you tie off the boat onto the jetty.
I'll just shout, Professor, there's no one here.
I'll jump across after my brother, because I'm as keen to get off the water as anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm jumping
Absolutely.
off. I'm on the jetty as well.
Yeah. Okay. And it's solidly constructed. Whoever built it knew what they were doing. It's certainly been a good job. Probably cut down, made out of trees that have been cut down from the local or surrounding forest. You can see not too far away there is what appears to be a clearing of some kind, which would be where the camp would be. Jose would know that, of course. And you can make out perhaps the tops of some tents in the amongst the undergrowth there.
Okay. As everybody's moving about, Jose basically, he goes around and grabs a few things that he will keep for him, especially going through this area. He grabs a machete, a simple probably handgun, and a flashlight, because in case if they ever had to return to the ship at night, he has that. So he basically he sits that and he starts walking off, and he's kind of looking around carefully, and just narrowly looking at the boat, and just kind of slowly walks across the jet, heading up to the camp.
Yeah. Is anybody else going? What is everybody else doing?
Yeah, I'm also going off the ship, off the boat.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll follow Antonio. If Antonio goes, I'm going.
All right.
Yeah. We're just like, I'm not concerned about anything. Just grab my bag.
Didn't like the look of that boat that was wrecked. That didn't look nice. I want out of that water as soon as possible, basically.
Yeah, it could be anything. These people these old uns, they get spooked too easily.
Wow.
It's very quiet here. It feels
The
strange.
jungle is full of surprises. You never know what can happen here.
The streets of Brazil are full of surprises. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I think we need to find the camp. Make sure everybody's okay.
Shout across the professor. Which way are we going? To the camp?
Sir, there isn't a professor here, Ange.
I thought it was who the members were. Professor Tull.
No, that's who you come in. That's who are in the camp.
Yeah, we were meeting.
The professor. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, well, it's all quiet.
Well, the professor, when we find the professor, he'll explain what's going on.
Of course. Science explains everything, doesn't it?
No,
Yes.
science does not the answer.
Yeah. Jose waits for everybody else, so he's just, quietly just looking around
Yeah.
the camp. You see him, he's kind of looking down on the ground, the movement and stuff like that. He calls over Roach, and it's like, he asks him and speaks Portuguese with him, and it just, it's like, you see anything strange among the ground, like any animal footprints or anything we have to worry about?
I'm gonna check. That was my plan as well. So.
Okay. Yeah, all right then. Roach, let's see what you might discover.
Investigate?
It will be an investigator, yeah. Certainly we'll be using the human die. I don't know if your shamanistic abilities will help you in this particular instance.
Well, looking for animal prints, it would be something a shaman would know, I would think.
Oh, go on then. Go on then.
But that's just me.
That's absolutely fine. No, it's fine. No, I'm game.
Just trying to work
Yes,
out how
there's
being a
some-
mathematician's going to help me do anything.
Oh.
That's amazing. That's good.
Okay.
That's a really good roll.
So as you kind of head into the clearing, you can see this group of tents that are scattered around. The first thing you kind of come to is like a cooking pit, which is full of old ashes. There are cooking utensils scattered around here as well. It doesn't look like it's been used for a while. It's cold still as you approach. The thing I think that disturbs Roach the most is as you're kind of looking around the area, there's some fairly long grass, about knee high, all around you, and there's a lot of, you can see spiders' webs, cobwebs, all over the grass. They're kind of glittering with the dew in the morning sunlight. And there are copious amounts of small spiders that are crawling up the area, which is probably not that unusual, maybe in the Amazon. These spiders, they are about the size of your thumb now. They're deep red with a yellow swirl on their abdomen. Something about them spooks you. Feel that they are watching approach, and I think you're going to make I want you to make an insight roll here because of this.
So red with a white, with a yellow swirl on
Deep
the bum
red with-
sack.
Yeah, on the bum sack. Yes, exactly. It's a Friday night.
Sorry, Ange.
Okay. Yeah. So these things, as you're kind of studying them, Roach, you kind of, as you approach, they rear up. They're on their hind legs. Their front legs kind of trying to intimidate you, obviously in some way, as spiders are wont to do, and they're quite little aggressive little buggers, to be honest. And you probably notice every now and again, you probably get bitten as you're kind of crawling through the grass, looking for these things. It doesn't hurt too much,
Wow.
but
So they're not deadly poisonous.
No,
they
No, yeah,
not
anyway.
yet. No, it's not an instant death thing, mate. That would be terrible if I killed you that quickly.
Oh yeah.
No, but you do have all spiders are poisonous.
Yes,
some of
and
them
I
are
mean they're all
just not
venomous.
deadly.
Absolutely.
Wow. Ooh.
Okay, so we're going to a layout of the camp that I will show to you here. Hopefully you can see
There
that.
you go.
See that?
Yes.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay.
And so you can see these tents that are scattered around. You're roughly here where the cooking pit is. And you can see, all of you can see now, numerous amounts of spiders crawling around here. And they're infesting.
I want to light the fire because that's going to be a good place. They're not going to be running on a fire, so we can sit around that if we need to.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Carlos will light the fire.
Alrighty then. Let's say there's some wood nearby that you can grab a hold of. Perhaps there was a stack of firewood near.
Do you need me to roll investigate to find some wood?
No, mate. I think we're in a forest. I think finding wood's probably fairly straightforward, right?
You're the smart one.
There's a tree.
Yeah. From where you are, you can see there's a row of animal cages. They're kind of made out of fine mesh and wood. And there appears to be some movement from within them. And if anybody investigates closer.
Oh, I might wander across. I'm a bit bored and...
You go look, Antonio. You're a big brave brother. I'm the little nerdy brother. I'll light the fire. That's macho enough for me today.
I'll
Absolutely.
go. Some animals over in these cages, and I'm just going to go and check them out. Is someone going to check those tents out? It seems to be a lacking of the people that we came to meet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check these cages out, and then it's like, there's no one here. We're not going to get paid, so might as well just go. Yeah.
How long ago did I receive a letter?
It probably would have been a couple of weeks back, I guess.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, that's fair.
3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Right.
Depends how often Jose's been making the. And mail's been coming back, maybe. So it's probably 4 weeks ago.
Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna be looking in the tents, trying to find any sign.
Okay, right. I'll quickly deal with Antonio first. As you walk across towards these cages, there's a long row of them.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps about 5 or 6 cages. But 2 of them are occupied. And as you approach, some noises start emanating from them, and you're suddenly aware that there are a couple of monkeys that are
monkeys
shaking on the mesh of the cage and getting very excited as you approach.
You're right there, mate. That's a bit British for Brazilian, isn't it? You're right there, mate.
You're right, mate. Yeah, they appear to be. They look quite emaciated, like they've not been fed in a while, and they seem to be quite excited about you being there. There's a cage between the 2 of them. There are these 2 monkeys in the cage, and there's a cage in between the 2 of them. And as you get closer, you're aware of like this a smear of. You're not quite sure what it is at first, maybe a rust-coloured stuff. But as you approach, you get to see bits of fur sticking in out of this thing.
Ooh.
The fur is roughly the same colour as the other 2 monkeys. There appears to be this smear of ex-monkey
against the cage.
Yeah, it's kind of dripping down from the mesh, and running off the side.
Crap.
And the other 2 you can see periodically reaching through and pulling at it, chewing on it.
They're starving.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Right, okay, there's some monkeys here and dead monkeys, and they're only bloody eating each other. I'll look around and see if there's any kind of food or anything. They're starving. Is there any food around by the cages?
Well,
the side of the cages?
Nothing near the cages. I'll leave you there for 1 second.
Anything around the cooking fire, by the way? Any food around the cooking fire?
Oh, that's no. There are a few utensils, but they don't appear to have been used in quite some time. They just kind of sat around the fire, as if somebody would have been able to use them at any time. But
I did shout across to everybody what I'd seen.
Yeah, and it's not like there's any food left in those things. They've been cleaned. They're just kind of set aside, ready to be used again. So there's nothing in there, but you hear Antonio calling across just after you've lit the fire.
I am going to check the animal cages when I hear this.
Is there
If I
anything I
might
could...
be able to find out what kind of animal or if it's human done.
Okay, and Carlos, sorry, you were saying?
I was just going to say, do we have any food that I think a monkey might eat when she's having food?
I mean, there certainly you would have had supplies on the Isabella. Whether you brought any of that off the ship with you, you can say you did if you wish.
So let's say I've got some nuts in my pocket. I like
Sure.
nuts.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so I've got some food for a
Probably
monkey,
some banana
hopefully.
plants around.
And you head over to the cages where Antonio has called out. What's Jose and Giovanna doing?
Actually, I'm gonna look through the tents to see if there's anybody around. Or
So the two of you have gone. Yeah, the first tent you come to, the flaps are open. There's no mosquito net inside. It looks like somebody has set the tent up, but there's nothing in it. Perhaps they were using it for storage or something like that. And you kind of move along to the next one, and within the next. Perhaps you spot, Giovanna, some belongings that you recognize in there. Darwin.
Yeah.
And they belong to your husband, the labor.
Okay, yeah. As soon as I recognize them, I will go in and try and have a close look and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so that's right. You approach the tent. Jose, are you with Giovanna at this point?
Yeah, I'm traveling with her to make sure, because it's good to at least have someone following you around, especially you just don't know what kind of stuff that's here. It could be some kind of jaguar or something out there, or you just never know what you'll encounter out in the Amazon.
Yeah, sure. So Giovanna, you're looking towards the flap of this inside the flap of this tent, and you can see inside there are more of these spiders crawling around over. There's a couple of bedrolls in there that have been laid out. A few bits of furniture, travel furniture, like trestle table type things. And it appears you can make out, in fact Jose sees them as well, that around the entrance to the tent there appear to be like some strange markings that have been scrawled onto the canvas of the tent. All these tents, by the way, they're made of like a strong weatherproof canvas with these strong wooden poles, and they all look in really good condition. But this tent here has several kind of symbols that are scrawled in charcoal, probably taken from cooking. They've been drawn around on the flaps, just on the inside of the.
Like just going down, or just it's been written as normal text.
They're probably in kind of scattered in random location on the canvas itself.
Do you recognize any of the markings?
I don't know.
I'll try to see where Roach is and call over for him to come over this way.
Okay, sure. Carlos, you make it to your brother Antonio, who's standing in front of these cages, watching these monkeys, getting very excited. What do you do?
Hand some nuts from my pocket to my brother. I'm not giving them to these monkeys.
I'm not gonna get bit.
So I will say, these monkeys are starving. We should let them go.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we'll give them some food now, and then we'll check some of them sheds. There's bound to be some food around. And if we don't find anyone, whatever happens, we let these monkeys go before, you know what I mean?
They're going to starve to death in there. I don't know why there's monkeys in cages here.
Oh, there's some dead ones, by the way.
Oh.
And because these are hungry, they're eating it, so...
And you see the aforementioned remains in the middle cage there, as
And it's just smeared against the sides there, the other two.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, right up against the mesh. You can see bits of fur kind of hanging from this greasy smear.
All right, that's disgusting.
So, there's nothing else in that cage. Like, I was wondering if there's like a gap in the back, and it's like.
No, there's obviously the door that they're able to drop them in, probably from the top of the cage.
Does it look like the body's exploded, or it's been attacked, or ripped apart?
Ooh. Do you want to make a roll here?
Well, I will do if you want me to.
I would love you to.
It's just going to be an investigator.
It's going to be an investigate roll for certain.
And it's not within my education.
No, I think it's just. Do you want to risk your sanity for it? Or...
Yeah, let's play dangerous.
Oh, you crazy fool!
Insane.
You crazy fool! Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, good call. I mean, it's difficult because obviously these excitable monkeys are distracting you as you kind of approach and look at this cage, and you have this horrible feeling that this monkey tried to push itself out through the mesh.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, I could see that happening. That's a gruesome picture in my mind.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. Oh yeah. Poor monkeys.
These
I'll
ones
like.
were not cared for.
I mean, I was thinking of it getting
Crap.
pulled through by the other two monkeys.
Yeah.
Enough.
No, it appears to have done it by itself.
Oh my god, this. What? That's this. This is just. Let's feed these monkeys and get them fed, and we should let them go. Should we let them go?
Yes. See.
Bugger this. I'm just gonna let the monkeys go.
Are you actually walking up to the cages to?
Yeah.
Carlos takes a couple steps back as he does this.
Anybody warn anyone about playing with me?
Roach, I'd say you were coming towards the cages as well, so you can see all this happening, and you hear Antonio as you arrive. You hear Antonio say this. It looks like this thing has tried to push itself out through the mesh, and these monkeys are going. I was going to say bananas. That'd be wrong.
I was thinking, is he going to say bananas?
Going crazy in the cages next to it. And as Antonio steps forward, they leap at the front and are rattling the mesh, the wood of the cage. You approach.
I'm going to the monkey that's getting a little bit of anxious.
That's both of them.
Yeah, well, and at least the closest one, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try to be shamany,
Right.
trying to touch it and make it calm down,
Okay.
as a shaman would do.
Okay. I think this would be a do something else kind of action.
Okay.
I think, personally.
And it is within human capabilities.
It is certainly within human capabilities.
Would you-
Do you want to convince me that you can speak to the animals? Is that what a...
Well, it is something a shaman does that I heard of.
Yeah,
I'm not fully into the shamany things, but I always see
yeah.
a shaman as a spiritual guide for human and animals
okay.
in a way.
Okay, all right, go for it. Go for
Then I'll roll with both.
it. Okay.
Get the bare minimum.
Yes, you do. So somehow, Antonio and Carlos, you see Roach kind of step forward. This creepy kid. And he's muttering something, or he's making unusual noises, I guess. How is Roach approaching this? I'm imagining Crocodile Dundee with the cow, but yeah, but you tell me.
Yeah, I think I am touching it and maybe say some words in, well, not in Spanish, but in my native tongue as my tribe would use.
Okay, this is going to be some kind of crazy bullshit mystical language that your shaman mentor has taught you.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Okay. And you kind of you managed to calm these creatures down close. And are you getting right up next to Antonio here, or is Antonio just going to open the cage?
I was just going over to open the cage.
Okay.
Love it.
Maybe it's because Roach has calmed these animals to some. You flick open the top of the cage, and this monkey leaps straight out.
Throw the nuts so it goes in the opposite direction.
Okay, and it runs off. You see it leap straight off the top of the cage into the undergrowth, and it's gone.
Wasted the nuts.
You do the same for the other one?
Yep.
And exactly the same thing. Just disappear. Gone. At that point, Roach, you're probably hearing your name being called by Jose. As we head back over to the labourer's tent. So you can see inside the tent there is this like a fold-up wooden table. There is something sat on the top of the table. It looks like a piece of rock or something along those lines.
Yeah. We'll
There are a number of spiders crawling across the top of the table very slowly around that particular piece of rock.
they're going around it or like over the top of it and.
Actually, they're more around it.
Okay.
So they're intentionally not going near it.
Well, you're not sure about that. I'm loath to get you to make another roll, but I think we should.
Yeah. I want to pick it up.
So, I mean, remember you can collaborate on this as well. Both of you can be looking at this.
Yeah.
You both roll, and we take the highest roll as the result.
I'd say it would be insight, or would that be investigation?
No, this will be investigate. I think. If you wish to risk your sanity, you can always add your insight.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna do with that. So that would just be the human, but it wouldn't be occupation because.
No, it probably wouldn't apply here. I don't know if your occupation will help you understand the spiders or something like that. So I think it's just a human dice for both of you, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah. So if you
Alright.
both like to do that, we'll see what
Alright.
results we get. You got to find nice. Okay.
Add them together and it's perfect. We collaborated.
You did.
Yeah, I got my machete out and I kind of stick it over near the rock so I can kind of flick it off the table and like get it out to the ground near us. So, 'cause
Okay.
I'm not touching it, so I'm just flick.
Sure.
Near us.
You're not sure, Jose, but the spiders, they kind of were gathered around the rock as you flick it, but you kind of have this feeling that they weren't touching it because, and this is a weird thing because these are spiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as if it was a respect or a reverence.
Is it a totem?
Well, that's why I'm not touching the rock, because it's like, a little superstition. I'm like, kind of like flip it over and see what's written on it or anything.
So the rock, after you flick it with the machete, it kind of lands in the middle of the tent. You get the spiders that are on the table. They rear up as they have to, they did for Roach earlier. They rear up and kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
To do that.
They do. The rock is down on the ground, not too far from you. You can see it. There are a couple of straight edges on it. It looks like it was probably broken off or cut from a larger piece, and possibly it actually be hand sculpted.
Okay.
So it's like I look at her and I was like, it's best not to mess with this right now. And he's like, he yells over to Roach like even louder to get over here.
Yeah. And so you're hearing your name. All of you hear Roach's name being called. I mean, are you calling him in an alarmed fashion? Is this something that would attract him?
It's one of those. It's like a note to like alarm to, hey, is a tone where like like an elder was talking to him to get over here.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're hearing Jose calling you again, perhaps with a slightly greater sense of urgency now.
I put some pepper in my ass and ran a little faster.
Yeah. Carlos and Antonio, you freed the monkeys from the cage. You threw the nuts off into the jungle, and they appear to have scampered off into the undergrowth themselves. What do you guys want to?
Was there any more animals? Like, it was only those three?
It was just those two, and the remains. Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of stand there and sort of, I hear a kerfuffle, and I'll go, oh, for God, no, I just go and see what they're doing now. They're all just obviously panicking about something ridiculous.
Yeah. Carlos.
I'm coming. Wait one moment. Well, go. I'll catch up with you. Carlos is going to go back to the cooking fire.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a stick from it that's burning at one end.
Yeah.
He's going to take that in case he needs to get rid of any spiders.
That's a good idea. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So even if it just goes out, just a stick that's like black and red and white at one end, so that
so it's still warm at one end.
Yeah, leaving it around will keep it going. So I'll get one of those sticks.
Absolutely. Okay,
so I'll follow my brother.
Sure. So you won't be too long after the other two. You probably arrive more or less at the same. Roach, you find Jose and Giovanna standing in front of this particular tent. They appear to be looking at some floor of the tent.
As he comes in, I'll just go in with, like, I'm just assuming this is what Jose called him for. It's like, you know things. There's a strange rock. I'm just pointing at the floor. We don't know what it is. The weird spiders won't touch it. So do you wanna?
Yeah, Jose actually points to the top of the tent, all the different markings. It said, does any of that look familiar to you? And there's like etching on the wood. He shows you too. He's like, I've never seen this before.
I look at the rock.
You're looking at the rock, not the symbols.
Well, they are on the rock, right?
No, the symbols are on the tent.
They're on the tent?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm looking at that first. I thought they were on the rock.
Yes, let's investigate that then. This is probably the most rolling I've ever done in any game ever.
And if this is my occupational expertise...
Go for it, yeah, you sure can.
That's all you, buddy.
Cool, right.
Oh, wait, I get whatever competent investigator would discover. I'm not competent, I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, we're going to go with it anyway. Yeah, they look like protective symbols. You've seen something similar like this before, and perhaps in some of your mentors' notebooks or whatever. And these are definitely some kind of protective symbol that have been written, scrawled upon this tent.
Okay. So symbol, I do know the symbols.
Well, you're familiar with them. You may not. You wouldn't be able to. It's not like they're not like hieroglyphics or anything like that. But you've seen these kind of mystic signs before, like evil eyes and like that. It's like a bunch of weird squiggles and things that have been thrown up. Yeah.
Yeah, my mini-me. It's like, there's food right there if you want. There's a plate. Get some food.
Yeah. So, you recognise them as protective wards of some. So they're kind of mystical symbols, but
Do I know if there was any other shaman part of this crew?
well, you looked at the list of people that were on the expedition. There's nobody there that they've brought along as a shaman. It's more whether or not somebody amongst them is also a believer and drawn this stuff up, believes in potentially.
Yeah, I'm thinking of maybe that Micah might be as a hunter. He might.
I mean,
think
yeah,
there's more Amazon.
yeah. You can see this piece of stone. It looks like granite, some kind of. It has an irregular side, but then there is definitely two regular sides to this thing. Makes you think that potentially, well, certainly Jose and Giovanna can tell it looks like it's been broken off of some possibly some kind of sculpture, potentially.
I'm gonna check the stone if I recognize the if it's carved in a specific way.
Are you reaching in, grabbing it?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, you reach in, and you can see. Giovanna and Jose would definitely have noticed this, that the spiders have crawled off of the table that the stone was on, and are slowly making their way across the floor towards this stone.
At this point, this because we've caught up with them now,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah.
Can I see if, like, chasing the spiders with this fire stick keeps them away from, like, because they're trying to go towards the stone. Does the fire, like, override that instinct to go to the stone?
I mean, as you're waving this stick around in front of them, they're definitely you can see them. They're getting agitated and aggressive. They don't come any closer. They will stay away from the stick as you point it towards them, maybe dodging left and right out of the way, and perhaps doing their little angry dance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of a little disturbing the way these things kind of react. It's almost, like they're aware of your presence.
They should be. I'm waving a fiery stick at them.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely aware of the stick, but they seem to be aware of you as well.
I'm totally oblivious to all this, and I just come over and said, there were some monkeys there, and they were starving, so we've just freed them. Where is everybody? Have you found anyone yet?
No, I was there.
I've not managed to find anyone yet, but haven't searched all the tents. I'm gonna go carry on doing that.
Okay.
I'm gonna specifically be checking for more of the
Symbols.
markings.
Okay.
If there are more markings, let me know, please.
What's you on about markings? What's this about?
I'll show
markings.
I'll show what's on the tent. Like, there's some writing here. I just want to check the other tents. Because this one is very
Carlos
strange.
will have a look at the writing. I want to investigate the writing.
Okay.
Well, while she's doing that, she'll go to one tent. So we've done one tent. I'll go and check some of the other tents as well. I'll go and check the others and see if anyone's in them. There's any more of these marking things for you.
Carlos, are you wanting to investigate these things, or are you just?
Yeah, I want to make a roll. Everybody else is making rolls.
You know what? You should damn well do that, mate. I think you should.
And I want to investigate them to see if there's any mathematical reference in them, in these symbols.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's the only thing. It's the only thing I know. I want to roll on my skills. So
you know what? I say, investigate human. Add on your occupation as well. Why not? Let's do it.
Get your nerd on.
Yeah.
And do I go all out and click the third one?
And that's up to you. That is entirely up to
No,
you.
because I've got two, I don't need the third, right? Okay. Look at what I rolled.
Oh.
Damn.
Okay.
Oh,
I can tell you, no, they don't appear to have any mathematical reference that you can see.
I turned to my brother and say it's all gibberish.
It is. Basically, you kind of look at it and think it's some kind of primitive bullshit stuff that somebody's just scrawled on there. You may have heard Roach say they are protective wards or something like that, and you probably think, what a load of shit.
These are the scrollings of cavemen that haven't discovered toilet paper yet.
Exactly, right? Yeah, clearly not somebody with an analytical mind like yourself. Definitely not.
Yeah, it's all nonsense.
Yes.
Child's drawings, perhaps.
Yes. Yeah, and they are quite crude scrawls that you can see. Okay, so who was going to look for another tent? Jose, did you want to do anything else in particular?
Well, he did want to talk to Roach. He's probably looking over the rock, especially for the protection runes.
Okay.
Is the runes that he found out, are they meant to keep things away or keep something in?
Ooh, now, well, it was a pretty good roll that Roach got, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They are to keep something out.
So
They are to keep something out. Maybe evil spirits or the like.
So yeah, so his thought is that, it's like, as I say, he's a little superstitious. He's old. He lived with all the little myths and stuff. He's like respects the tribal beliefs and stuff like that. And this is why he's just like, it's like that's one of the reasons he probably let Roach go on his boat is because is that with what this young man is that he's like respectful for that, and especially now his mind is like with all the strength so far he's encountered. He's glad he has him here. So he talks to Roach and is like, is there anything particular about the rock that is useful or strange? And he's still pointing at these little spiders, and one comes near him, he hacks one right in half.
Yeah.
did I discover something while investigating the rock?
You discovered that it's definitely from some kind of sculpture, bas relief or something like that. It's very well made. It's very smooth on the two straight edges, like it's taken off the corner of something. Definitely man-made or carved. But there are no symbols or anything like that on it, so you're not sure what the deal is with that.
Well, it's my thought would be is like he looks at Roach. Is this anything like your tribe or any locals or could have crafted this? Do you know or anything the stone similar to this?
It looks pretty old, Roach.
It is a stone that my ancestors might have used. But it's older than I am, so I don't know if I've seen it being made and carved like this.
It probably would best to leave the rock where it is and not take it with us, just in case. Because if the spiders are drawn to it, it'd be better if it stays here. Because it's like, as you said, he points at the runes. It's like, this is protection, and it was here.
What do you think, Roach? Sorry, Carlos.
I was just thinking about putting the fire to the rock to see if the spiders still try and climb on or try and go to the stone if you actually touch it with the fire stick.
I mean, you would notice as you do that that they almost congregate around the stone.
And they weren't going on the stone.
They're not going on it, yeah. But they weren't going on the stone. I mean, whether Jose would relay that information to you.
Yeah, he does.
So where the line of them is where there's a gap between them and the stone, I just jab the stick down into the front line of them and see if they stay there or if they move.
They will move around it. they move around it as if trying to kind of get round back as closer to the stone if they can. So they're still doing their little angry dance and moving around whenever the stick comes near them, this heated stick. But yeah, they're definitely. I mean, this is weird. I mean, spiders don't normally behave this way. There's certainly none that you have seen so far, any of you. And they are aggressive, and they're everywhere. There's a few in this tent, but they're all in the grass. I mean, you've all been bitten several times by now. These things are just crawling all over the place. And yeah. Antonio, you were going to check out another tent, were you not?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so the next, there's one fairly close to you, kind of between where you are and the cages, a bit further into the clearing. As you flip open the flap of the tent, you can see once more there's like a single bedroll in this one. Once again, a folding wooden table. On the floor, there is a double-barreled shotgun, and near the foot of the bedroll is some kind of like travel trunk or chest.
Okay, is there many a spider inside this thing?
I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, if you look hard enough at the floor, you can see there are lots of them all crawling around amongst the grass. They're crawling on they're probably on your clothing at certain periods. Find them.
Let's just say the character I normally play on Friday will not come here.
So
these are a lot smaller, thankfully.
Okay, I'm feeling a little bit discombobulated right now because obviously there's nobody around and we should be. So I am going to actually grab the double-barreled shotgunny thing.
Okay. You kind of grab the shotgun off the floor.
Is it one of those cool ones that you see like in these 1930s? Has it got a strap?
No.
Well, that's disappointing.
It's a shotgun, not a rifle.
Well, I don't know the
but
difference. It's a gun.
No, some do.
Right?
Yeah, I get. No, I don't know.
Guys that hunt pheasants and stuff. Those guys.
They got straps on them.
They'll have a shotgun
Carrying them
with a
on the back,
strap,
of course.
yeah.
No. It doesn't have a strap. I'm going to stick to my guns, if you like.
Stick to my guns. Oh my god.
Anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to pick that up and then
encourage me.
So I'm going to say that living on the streets of Brazil, I might have shot an odd gun every now and again.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying that
Okay.
because I want to say that I can use a gun. So I pick up this gun, and then I'm going to go and open this chest and just shout out, "There's no one in this tent, but I've got us a gun."
Yeah. So you know how to handle a gun then?
Yeah, I do now.
So you flip open the gun, and there are some cartridges, 2 cartridges in it, but they're quite badly decayed, quite rotted. The paper and stuff around, hardboard, wherever it is.
That's weird.
Is it? It's a bloody rainforest. It's not good for cardboard, is it?
But when was the last time these people were seen?
Well, that's a very good question, isn't it?
Me. I'm going to look in the chest, and I'm going to search through the chest.
The chest is locked.
I'm going to try and kick it off.
Okay. You can just smash the lock. Yeah, perhaps use the shotgun.
I'm not going to blow them off.
Not the butt of the gun.
Well, seeing as those shells are no good, that would be pointless. But you can use the butt.
Yeah, use the butt. Yeah, use the butt. Shotgun.
What kind of lock is it? Is it a combination lock?
No, it's not. It's just a padlock. Yeah. Oh, you want to have a go with you?
I'm
you know what?
I'm trying to find reasons to use.
I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Yeah, it's a combo. It is a combo. God damn it! It damn well is.
Can I try to use the mathematical ability then?
I
Take
think
your head out of the tent, Carlos. There's a combination thingy here on this lock. Can you come and have a look?
See.
Go for it, Carlos. Use your mathematical brain.
Is there anything else around while he's breaking that, like on the table, like any books? I am not trying not to meta this, but in the realms of Cthulhu, I am looking for a journal.
Shocking, absolutely bloody shocking. Is okay. No, is the answer to that, Ange. However, your brother Carlos.
He's a mathematical.
He's a mathematical genius, and he has managed to discover the combination.
Every combination possible.
He does it in seconds. That's how good he is.
It was very easy. It was the 7th most common used combination password.
Exactly,
1, 2,
because
3, 4.
Whoever this was clearly
7th.
7th. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, the guy that owns this is clearly smart, but not that smart.
I was about to Google what the 7th most used combination is.
Yeah, so you open up the trunk, and inside there you find some spare clothes, all neatly pressed and what have you, in the bottom of this trunk. And amongst them all, as you're hauling out all this stuff, you find a small notebook.
Of course, we will read it.
Of course you do. You pull out the notebook?
Of course I do. I can't read it if it's in the
I'm going to ask
chest.
Carlos, because Carlos is the smart one that opened the chest.
Well, okay, I suppose. Yeah, because my brother's a jock. He plays football. Like, even if
He can't read.
Even if he can read, is he the best person to
Is there any money in there?
I don't know. So I'll read it, yes. No problem.
Okay, so I'm going to show you a little handout, because it is a Cthulhu game after all.
Of course it is. I can't get rid of the other one.
Can you see that, Oliver?
Yeah, do you want me to read it out?
I mean, if you wish to do so, you may.
This journal, so it's Sapiro's journal. This journal concerns Sapiro's adventures in the Amazon basin. He describes Tortoroli's delighted reaction to the sinkholes, but notes that the labourers are not pleased. They have superstitions about the place, submitting to the Mascara Vermella. Mascara Vermella, sorry. Sapiro describes the death of a captured monkey with great relish, dissolving innards oozing from every orifice like treacle. The labourers become agitated and leave shortly after. Threatening them with the shotgun has no effect. Sapiro's journal includes directions to the 3 sinkholes, Alpha, Beta and Gamma. Alpha was explored and finished with. The expedition still has a camp at Beta.
What? So he's read that out. Has he read that out while I'm stood there? And I'll go, how long ago was it dated? Because this shotgun looks like it's not been used for ages.
Is there a date on it?
I mean, there will be various dates in there, and perhaps the last one would have been maybe a week ago.
Ah, okay.
No, longer than that. Longer than that. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. Oh, I suppose we better go and tell the others. Is there any money in there?
There is no money in there.
We know where to go look for the expedition. We need to go to Sinkhole Beta.
Ah.
Well,
that's what.
If I see that they are still at Beta, why not go to Beta?
Okay, so you've explored this particular tent. Anybody else doing anything? Jose, Giovanna, and Roach?
I was looking around the other tents.
Okay, so you're going to find another one. Okay, and I'm going to select you. Go play. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking at the other trends too. So.
Are you staying together, or are you split?
I think I left before they were finished examining it, because I just went to look for more markings.
Sure. Got you. Okay, well, the next tent you get to, there are no more markings on this particular tent. Flipping the flap of the tent open and looking inside, there are 2 beds, camp beds laid out. One of them is covered in a dark stain. It's difficult to tell what it is at this distance in its light. You can see there are a number of these spiders crawling all over that particular bed. The other one seems to be intact. There's no markings on that at all. There is another one of these small camping tables, the folding ones, wooden one, and you can see there are two like notebooks on top.
I'll pick one up and have a look.
Okay, entering the tent. The first journal, which I shall now, do you want to read it or shall I read it?
I can read it.
Alameo, by the way.
Thank you. I was just looking at it like,
Good job I didn't get that, because I've never even said that first name.
Alameo's notebook reads like a catalogue of scandal rather than an academic journal. Alameo helps Nessie tend to the animals, although she pays only lip service to this in her notes. She notes that Nessie is jealous because she went to Sinkhole Alpha to set up the cages. Alameo hates the jungle. There are too many spiders, mosquitoes, and other bugs for comfort. The spiders are vicious. At least she hasn't fallen as ill as Nessie. Alameo does not like bugs. The notebook's last entry details her concern at discovering that the sinkhole site is deserted. The boats have been scuttled and the labourers have fled. Then Nessie falls ill. Ooh, okay.
Yeah. You? Oh.
So at this point, are we assuming that is this? We've got another boat access. Okay, so we've got Nessie's notebook. So Nessie is in charge of the animals, feeding and cleaning their cages. Her studies show that the monkeys from Sinkhole Alpha differ from the base camp monkeys. She should suggest that they have been separated for a long time, presumably by the geography of the sinkhole. Later she notes the spiders' peculiar interest in some animals and notes they bite. The bitten monkeys, 2 from Alpha, 1 from base camp, fall ill shortly after, appearing irritable and refusing to eat. They weep blood and die within 48 hours. Their deaths are grotesque, vomiting their liquefied insides with considerable violence. One even tried to escape by squeezing through the wire mesh, slicing itself apart. Ew.
I didn't notice that.
Okay. Yeah, once I've give these a quick read and everything, I will take them back to the others, because it's quite disturbing.
Okay. Absolutely. Just a few little things here then. And then we're going to take a little break. But first up, Roach.
Yeah.
As you're standing there, you spot something at the edge of the clearing. There are a number of flies buzzing around it.
And a lot of flies.
You're
in
not
one
sure,
spot.
but yeah, that's probably what draws your eye to it. Yeah, at the edge of the clearing.
Most of the time that can only mean one thing, so I am going to investigate. Not that I'm immediately going to roll, but I am going to go there.
Yeah. This is for you, Jose.
Okay.
Okay. This is for you.
Okay.
Okay. And I think we'll take a little break right here. Okay. So I've just. Well, some people have seen some things, etc., etc. I don't want to give too much away because that's not what this game is about. So, right, everybody, we have found some journals from some members of the expedition. We have discovered that there are 3 sinkholes. One of them explored. One of them is where they allegedly currently, and there is a third sinkhole called Gamma. Has not yet been explored. We have discovered that some monkeys have been experimented upon, or at least have been observed, stuck in cages and observed. What are we doing next, guys? Oh, and we found some strange symbols drawn on the tents, and a piece of rock, which appears to be part of a sculpture.
Did we establish whether there was symbols on the other tents?
So you've been through the other tents so far. None of the others have these symbols on them.
So it was only this one tent that had it on?
Yeah.
The symbols were meaningless children's drawings anyway. They're not significant.
Exactly right.
There's nothing mathematical to them.
Silly children's bullshit is what it was.
Third room.
Yeah. So we're gonna skip past that bit. Right. I can edit that out anyway. What do you want to do next, guys? We've just had Antonio has just discovered. Giovanna has just discovered 2 notebooks from the student.
Is that all the tents we've?
No, it isn't.
So I'll go to the next one, and then when we've checked out all of them, we'll go back to the main bit, and so I'm just gonna go necking in the next tent.
And I was going to investigate the flies flying on the edge of this clearing.
You weren't you?
I'll stay close behind Antonio, I think.
Sure.
I will follow Roach.
As we're walking along, I'm going to start talking to Carlos and sort of say, this is a little bit crap, and it's...
Well, thanks.
It's very strange.
It's like there's nobody here, and there's nobody been here for a while. It's just like those monkeys hadn't been fed for ages, and these spiders are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we need to go to whole beta and find the people for the
we need to get through the. Let's check these tents out, check these other buildings out, and then let's just find out where this guy is, because we ain't gonna get paid if we just mess about here. You know what I mean? It's like we're here, and the guy's gonna pay us, isn't it? We're not gonna earn any.
There's no one here to pay us. We need to move on. You're right.
So yeah, if it's like, let's just find out where they've gone, and then if they've come to some, fell in an hole and dead, then we leave.
Yep. So I'll help Antonio get through the tents just to see what's going on in any of them.
Absolutely, Jose. You wanted to do something?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Roach. But as he's walking through, he kind of stumbles for a little bit, holding his head, and it just kind of like looks, like I wouldn't say green, but he looks like he holds his stomach for a little bit, and he just keeps walking, following after Roach, and just kind of looks around as he's going about.
Okay. Sure. And Giovanna, you are doing what?
Well, I was taking the journals back to the others.
Sure.
If they've all gone like toddled
You
off.
can see them all moving off in different directions. No, it's not far. They're not far from you.
I'm just gonna leave. I'll leave them by the campfire.
Okay, by the cooking pit, sure.
Yeah, just basically that's if anybody else wants to read them. And then
Not
I'll
too
go...
close.
Yeah, I know the distance. And then I'll go...
It's just fuel.
Was there anything else in that tent that I was in? Apart from the dirty bed?
No. And obviously there was the one bed that was covered in the dark patch. Actually, when you went in, you would have been aware of what that was. And that mattress is absolutely stained with blood. And as you go in, you can smell it when you go in there. There's like that metallic smell in the air. It's completely dried, but it is smeared all across of that. Like if it was a person had been laying on there, it's like the full length of that.
Yeah, because
and it's soaked right through into.
Reading that diary would have made it a little bit more sense, I think, at that point.
Okay.
After talking about the symptoms that the monkeys had, and the other diary said that Nessie
Yeah.
Nessie had fallen ill, so it's kind of making that connection right now about that.
Okay.
But it's how that happens, I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
it does say this about the spiders, but I'm just... Yeah, no.
All right.
So it's just carry on checking.
So you're going to keep. I mean, most of the tents will have been gone through by the rest of the party by that point.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you wanted to look at while?
How long have we been here?
You've probably been here about an hour, maybe.
Okay. I think the next one I want to try to look at is the stores.
Okay.
I'm very wary about how long they've not been here for.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm now thinking that it was 4 weeks since I got a letter from my husband. There's these diaries saying there's sickness going around. Obviously somebody has clearly died in that bed. Like you can't lose that much without not being dead. So it's just like I want to look at the stores to see basically if anything's like decaying or
absolutely
better idea.
Okay, I'm going to jump across to Jose and Roach first, and we'll come back to everybody else. So you have wandered over to the edge of the clearing, where you can see there's like a cloud of flies hovering above. You can hear as you're approaching, you hear this buzzing noise from these things as they're zipping around whatever is laying beyond the clearing. When you get there, you see a mangled mess of what appears to be carcasses, animal carcasses, some monkeys, some other stuff that you can't quite identify. Bits of fur. Once again, there is this. It's almost like something has kind of oozed. Their remains have liquefied and oozed out into a pit that had been buried, but something has dug them out. There are a lot of these spiders crawling all over it as well. And they just seem to be kind of feverishly moving around all over the remains of animals. But it was definitely some kind of a burial pit for kind of carcasses that has been uncovered by another animal or something. Flies are buzzing around. They're getting in your face, getting in your eyes, up your nose. You're still being bitten by these spiders periodically. They're very aggressive, very unpleasant.
Just as I thought. Animal carcasses, or at least dead things, because otherwise, why would there be flies like that?
Yeah. But these spiders crawl all over this thing, and most of it is dried. It's like a pool, as I said, almost like somebody turned to slime. something had turned to slime and has oozed out all over this thing. I mean, maybe some of you would know when a corpse or an organism putrefies, it kind of turns to mush before it's finally absorbed.
Yeah.
And that appears to be what's going on here. Yeah, Jose, you probably, I mean, I don't know if you took a look at the cages. Were you there at the cages? So you probably are aware. It's a similar kind of thing to what you saw from that monkey that had tried to push its way out of the cage through the mesh. Yeah, it's quite a horrific mess. It smells terrible. And these flies are buzzing around you. And yeah, it's making you feel quite unpleasant.
Yeah, I look at Roach. It's like, anything of note around here? If not, it's best to get around here. It's like, I'm not feeling too good with this about.
Well, this is just looks like a dumping spot for dead animals. They just dropped the dead animals here.
Alright, he nods. It's like, alright, well, it's best we get away from this and regroup with everybody else.
So Antonio, sorry, carry on. Cut you off. You okay? Can I jump to Antonio and Carlos?
Yes. Go ahead.
Right. So this is the final tent there that you have to explore.
Mm-hmm.
Opening it up. Once again, there is dark staining of some kind that seems to have splattered all up across the tent inside the canvas. It's quite obvious what it is. Once again, this is definitely blood that has been splattered all up across the inside of the tent. It's an absolute mess. The bed is overturned, and there is this dried blood. You get the smell of it again. There's flies buzzing around, all inside this tent. The far end of the tent, the canvas, is ragged. Probably from the shotgun blast. The shotgun is kind of laying there on the floor. And carry on, sorry.
So there's a shotgun inside the tent and there's blood splattered all over the inside of the canvas.
Absolutely, yeah, and a big hole, gaping hole where looks like somebody's fired a shotgun through the canvas. It is an absolute mess that turns your stomach when you enter into this.
So using exits and entry holes and trajection and all these mathematical things, can I work out if the gun's been shot from the outside and somebody's been in the tent and somebody's come from outside the tent? And
do you want to make a roll for me? Do you want to make a roll here and use your occupation or your mathematics? I think that's fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
Oh, yeah, and I'll do quite well.
That looks like Kurt Cobain.
You get whatever a competent investigator would discover.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, so it looks like the shotgun was fired from inside. As far as you can tell, it hasn't hit anyone. But the blood doesn't seem to have come from the shotgun blast. It seems to be from something else.
No Kurt Cobain.
I'll explain that to my brother then.
Okay, this place is an absolute... I mean, it's carnage in here, this whole thing. I haven't properly described how bad this thing is, but there appears to be like blood encrusting everything in this room. And as you kind of are searching around, you're doing your little bit of investigation. You can see that from the upturned bed, there's the corner of a notebook, like a leather cover, peering out among all this horrible, grim detritus. I think I'd like you both to make insight rolls right now, because this is an absolute godforsaken mess. Okay.
Nice roll.
That's not bad. So you keep it together as you kind of reach through into this horrible
I reach
detritus.
through, grab the gun, give it to Carlos, and go. Right, this place is absolutely fucked. You need to keep yourself armed, and then I grab the notebook book and push him out.
Right, so I cock the gun to see if it's loaded.
Okay, you do that. The cartridges inside are spent.
Okay.
We need
Dump them out.
to find some more cartridges.
Stores.
Maybe in the stores.
Yeah, dump the empty cartridges out. We're gonna make our way over at the stores then.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, and we're not just like calmly now.
Sure.
I'm like, let's.
Who's got the notebook?
I got the notebook.
Are you doing anything with it?
Not at the minute. I'm running to get some cartridges.
Oh, you got the notebook, because Carlos got the notebook. Did you say you had it first, Carlos? Did you want that?
I did say I pulled it out, but then Antonio said
Okay,
Oh,
Carlos.
Antonio's got it.
Yeah, what do you want to do with the notebook, Carlos? Do you want to do anything with it?
I'm going to open it and read it.
Okay.
On the way to the stores.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that.
Tortoroli's journal. Tortoroli's journal is a list of subjects, treatments, and results. He injected monkeys with various chemical compounds and recorded changes in activity, intelligence, and problem solving. He tests monkeys from the base camp and sinkholes indiscriminately. The journal's final entry makes a brief mention of an unnamed book due to arrive on the next supply trip. Tortoroli hopes it contains information on the disease that has struck the expedition.
Wow.
A disease has struck the expedition.
Giovanna, you reach the hut.
Yeah.
Before the others. Testing the lock. It is locked.
Is it just a normal key lock?
It's a padlock. Yeah. It looks, they've constructed this themselves. It's like the jetty. They've obviously, the labourers, your husband included, obviously very good at this kind of thing. They've constructed this hut with out of planks they've made from trees in the area. It's fairly secure. Small wooden shed, and it is bolted securely from the outside. So it's not a padlock, it's a bolt.
No combination locks this time.
There's no combo. Sorry about that.
Which hut she gone to?
The stores.
Stores. Oh, same one we're legging it to as well.
Yeah.
I think I'd just try and. I think at this stage it'll just be in frustration, just like pulling at the doors with.
You can slide the bolt. You can just slide the bolt. That'll do you.
Yeah, do the bolt.
Sure. And you slide the door open, and the first thing that hits you is the terrible, terrible smell.
Oh God.
That comes from out within the hut. There's a buzzing inside as you do this. When the light kind of goes in through the doorway, a swarm of fat flies, you see them kind of buzzing around inside there. The smell is horrendous.
Ugh. Well, I guess I wanted to know.
You having a look?
Yeah, so it's just having a look. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want to
Sure.
know, like, I want to try and guess how long it's been. I guess.
Okay. You peer into the. It takes a while for your eyes to adjust. Inside, you can make out a vaguely humanoid shape that is kind of laying up. A vaguely humanoid shape that is laying down against the back wall of the hut. Most of the flies seem to be buzzing around that. You can notice it seems to be moving as you're peering in the darkness. There seems to be movement, like it's moving around a bit. And as your eyes adjust, you suddenly realize it's not the body that's moving, it's just the spiders that are crawling all over it at this moment in time.
I think as soon as I notice
And
that, I will just like jump back. It's like,
I'd like you to make an insight roll.
okay. No. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so jumping back is probably not a bad reaction from what you see inside. As your eyes adjust further to the gloom inside, that's when Carlos and Antonio arrive behind you. Carlos clutching some kind of notebook. He seems to be reading it as he arrives behind you. And perhaps he's startled a little bit as you jump back. What's happening?
I'll just turn to them and just like, oh, just be careful. There's a lot of spiders there.
There's
Spiders everywhere.
There's a
There seems-
disease. There's been a disease come across the people of the expedition. Read this. Look at this. And he shows her the journal entry that he's just found.
Yeah.
I'll
right.
take it and have a look. And I'll just say, I found some journals as well that mentioned something about, but the animals being sick, and then someone else fell sick. I left them by the campfire. But just be careful. Just don't go too close to that. Pointing at the storage, it's like, I found a person.
Person.
Well, we need ammo. We need to get in there. So
Yeah, we need it in there.
I'm just kind of like point it out in the bottom corner. It's like, but that's a person.
And you can clearly see this shape, this outline of a person from where you are now, Carlos and Antonio. And Roach and Jose. What are we doing, guys? You've just examined this carnage on the edge of the clearing. Where are you heading?
Going back to the group.
Yeah? You're muted there, Jose. Sorry, mate. Sorry, Max. You're still muted, dude.
Yeah,
There
sorry.
we go. No problem.
Yeah. So I've like as I said, I'm motion Roach to head over back where the rest of the group, and I'll probably notice them start heading over to the stores.
Yeah, you can see them standing there outside this hut, and you can reach them within a matter of seconds. So you're all standing outside this hut. Yeah, and they seem to be passing journals around.
Yeah, I just like looking at it and just getting closer. I'm like, I guess he just kind of like, like a really bland, jokely, but it's like, you find anything good in there? Kind of like, he just kind of weak smile, but it's not really much of a comedian. Just kind of to see like,
Have a look for yourself, and Carlos will gesture to the window. Have a look.
Jose?
No, he. So how does everybody else? He looks at them and it's like, how are they acting for them looking inside?
I mean, that's
so like, would we if we stuck our heads in to have a look?
Do I need to make another insight check?
That's what I'm thinking. If we go in and see that, do we need to?
Yeah. I mean, if you see that thing now, yeah, you'll both need to make insight rolls. Yeah.
We still want to get
good
in.
Call.
I just sort of jump back and go, what the?
I failed again. So yeah, so Carlos jumps back. He's like, oh.
But we need to. Oh my god! Right, I know. I tell you what we could do. Oh my god, this is just. Oh my god, someone needs to go in there. I'm not going in there. Jose, you can go in there. We need to get some ammo.
All right. Well, it said if you. So what is in there? Like something dead?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely a body laying there. It's covered in. I mean, you can. Much like the pit where you've just been, there are flies buzzing all over it. These big fat flies. Spiders also crawl all over this thing. Scurrying backwards and forwards.
Yeah. So Jose has give me a second. He's gonna run over to one of the tents, grab a blanket, and wherever the body is, he's gonna throw it over the body so he doesn't actually have to look at it, and it's added a vision so people.
I mean, I think you've probably already looked at it. I'd like you to make an insight roll.
Well, but it's still in the future. He's like get that taken care of.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, it's very unpleasant in there. Jose, you get a bit closer as you're going to throw this blanket over them. So you probably see that there is it would have been a pool of blood and something like a ruddy brown color that seems to have spread out and smeared all around the edge of that the hut where this thing is laying. The body itself doesn't seem to be much more than skin and bones, which is surprising because it can't have been that long. It's not. It looks like it's probably been dead for quite some time. It's basically just skin stretched over a whole load of bones at this point. It looks up. You can make out this grimace on its face as the skin is kind of pulled taut across the skull, revealing all of its teeth, kind of bared. And it's laying, basically sitting in this pool of dried, congealed blood.
So he covers it and just kind of just backs off of it, and and he just says, hopefully it'll keep that out of our vision. And is there how much light is coming into the area?
Through the doorway. I mean, it's still morning, so it's fairly light. There's only the door. There's no windows in it, so the light is coming in through the doorway. It's enough. If you were to stand in the doorway for just a couple of seconds, your eyes will adjust enough for you to be able to see fairly clearly what's in there.
Okay, he's
any ammo in there, Jose?
Yeah, the body's covered. It's he just looking around. And he just he doesn't know what he can see right now. It's like those who want to come in and look around, go ahead.
I'll go in and investigate.
Okay. Inside, as you kind of look, there's some makeshift shelving that has been put in there. There are some bits of food, bread, things like that have all gone covered in mold and also encrusted in this brownish reddish goo that is now dried and congealed. You can. I don't know if you did anybody examine the corpse much, or is it basically you just threw the blanket over and?
Yeah, I was quite curious. I was going to ask before he threw the blanket over.
So okay,
what adult corpse was?
It's definitely an adult corpse, yeah. And so Carlos, you would have known, you would have spotted that it's definitely an adult. The clothing is definitely a female cut as well.
Yeah.
So you could assume it's maybe Nessie or Almeo being the female members, of the team.
One of them, obviously, but I was thinking about Nessie or Almeo.
Yeah.
Nessie
maybe
was the woman that looked after the animals. Maybe the animals got sick first. Maybe the disease comes from the animals.
That's what her journal said. Nessie's journal said they were getting sick and they were getting aggressive, and one even tried to force its way out through the mesh.
And from reading the other journals, it looks like the spiders biting the animals is what's getting the animals sick. So maybe these bites are making people sick as well. And we've all been bit by these spiders. Well, all you have, I've not, because I've got my fire stick, obviously.
If only that were true.
But I'd be worried about all those bites you've got, guys.
Okay, there's one building left that has not been looked at.
You mean the outhouse?
No, the laboratory.
Oh yeah.
The larger structure, the larger wooden structure that is there.
Flip a coin. To the lab, who's going to this shitter?
I thought you meant the privy, aye.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody need the privy?
Yeah, I'm not getting there.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be bad enough anyway, right? Regardless of any disease or...
Ew, yeah.
And especially in this heat.
Yeah, especially in this heat. So, we're all together. What are we doing? Anybody have any... Does anybody want to go to the laboratory?
Well, no, I mean, I was trying to get some ammo. Did I get any ammo?
No, there is no ammo inside that. It's just basically food that is decomposed, supplies, things of that nature. There's no ammunition in there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I want to go to the lab.
You want to go to Roach wants to go to the lab?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I don't think I wouldn't go to the lab. No, I think I'm just gonna try like grab all the notebooks together. I think and try and just keep them all in one place because I think we're gonna need these. Even though it just spells out our demise. But yeah.
So Roach is definitely going to the lab. Anybody going?
I'd go with Roach because I'd be like, oh, for God's sake, this is just getting a bit ridiculous now. Well, we're going to check this last building out, and then we going. Yeah, we're going.
Well,
I think we're getting. I think. I don't know.
We're going. This is
get out of
mental.
here. There's nothing. We're not getting paid. There's no people here. Everyone's sick. I'm scared they're all dead. There's no one going to be there at the other camp to pay us. I think we get out of here.
They might have fixed it at the other camp. They all went to the sinkhole. You never know. I mean,
we have a map of where the sinkholes are, like whatever it is.
No, there's probably some directions listed in the journal, so you could probably find your way there. So there are locations for these.
The journal includes directions to the 3 sinkholes.
Yeah. Roach, you appear to be on your own at the laboratory.
No,
Antonio's with you? Okay. Anybody else?
I will go eventually. If Antonio goes, I'll go with Antonio.
Absolutely. So Carlos, Giovanni, you said you wanted to stay back. Jose, what are you? Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to the lab too. I'm gonna stay outside just to keep a watch out because just never know if anything comes out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it's this large wooden building. Once again, very well made. It's in very good condition. There is a single door which you open. It's not locked at all.
Oh.
And you can see inside 2 kind of worktops and a desk. Several cupboards that have been these are all the things that have been brought in. 5 animal cages are also in there, and there is a refrigerator. Now you have spotted as you wander around there is a generator that's knocking around. That is not working at this moment. Certainly you can't hear anything coming from it. So the refrigerator is probably not working. Yeah, there's some washing facilities. And once again, these spiders seem to be crawling all over the place. All over. So yeah, anybody have anything? What is it you want to look at inside this laboratory, guys? You can see at the far end, above the desk, on the wall, there appears to be, from where you are, some kind of map as well.
Well, I'm at least gonna check out the map.
It's going to be a map to the sinkholes, isn't it?
Well, we have directions to the sinkhole, so it's not that we specifically need those. But I'm also interested in what's in the fridge.
Okay. So, Carlos, are you interested in the map? Is that the deal?
Yeah, I want to see if the map matches the directions to the sinkholes.
Absolutely, it does. In fact, from that, you're fairly confident as you look at the map. You can find the sinkholes fairly easily. They're probably only, maybe an hour's hike from where you are. Certainly in slightly different directions.
I memorize the coordinates.
Absolutely, and you can do that being a mathematical genius.
No, mathematical, not mathematical.
Well, I'm going to go with there's no difference.
Numbers.
Exactly, right?
Come on,
exactly. Jose, you're staying outside. Antonio, you're inside as well. So one of you will spot that there is on this desk there is a drawer that has a lock upon it. And let's say it's Antonio because you're about to look in the fridge there. Roach, the fridge has been obviously that hasn't been working for quite some time, and as you pull that open, the stench is nauseating. As you open this thing, it appears to be mold climbing up the inside of this thing. Yeah, it's very, very unpleasant. And there are some chemicals in there as well. You can see a few little jars, little bottles that have numbers or letters kind of etched up or written upon them, scrawled upon them in biro. And they appear to be like a hash and then a number. A few of these things. Antonio, you've found a locked drawer.
I'm just gonna kick it open, or bash it open. I'm losing patience now because I just know that
legs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to take you a huge amount of effort, I suppose, to open.
Give it a right toe poke.
Yeah, that's right. So
I'm like kicking it ends up going. This place is just absolutely ridiculous. We need to get out of here. And while we were even looking in here, and I'm kicking the drawer at the same time. Like, oh god, oh my god, this is just ridiculous.
Okay. So you should have been seeing a handout there, Anne. Do you want to read it or shall I?
No, I can read it. Oh, there's some stupid journal in here. Let me have a look. Oh, it's going on about the differences between animals around the base camp and those in the sinkholes. They've been sticking chemicals in them. They're on about some kind of diseases killing monkeys, and they did autopsies on them. It dissolves the host inside. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Reducing it eventually to a soupy pulp. So symptoms include loss of appetite, passing of blood in saliva. And that's how I just spit in my hand. No, I'm alright. Or urine, bloody eyes, and I glance across at everyone, have a quick look at their eyes. Open sores on the skin. The monkeys seem to get better after infection, but this is only a temporary thing. Oh, guys, it says here that all the animals had small bite marks, probably from the spiders. How many times have you been bitten?
I told you. Should have had a fire stick. Oh, there's something here about, I don't know what this means. Carlos, you might understand this. Something about infecting monkeys from the sinkhole, but they didn't get affected. So some of the monkeys in the sinkhole, they can't be infected by. Wait. So the monkeys from the sinkholes are immune to the disease.
Oh yeah, it says that word, immune.
They appear to be immune to the disease.
Oh wait. So
earlier in another journal, we read that there was a difference between the monkeys from the campsites and the monkeys from the sinkholes, and this is the difference. The sinkhole monkeys are immune to the disease.
From the beta sinkhole.
Right, yeah, that's great. Right. I don't know what that all means, but right now, all I read here is that people got bit, and I've been bit. Have you been bit?
No.
He says no, but
yeah,
maybe a little bit less than others.
Roach.
Yeah, they're all.
Roach, have you been bit? I think you said we all been bit, haven't we?
Roach was the first one bitten.
Yeah, he come in there, look around there, start hissing at him. He's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, but I'm used to it.
What, used to having your insides turned to right? And I say it's like there's nothing in here. And I grab this journal.
These spiders are very common here in the rainforest, and since I live here.
Well, obviously not. Right, and I just walk out going, Jose, where are you?
Start the boat. Yeah,
we're going. We're out of here, mate. It's like these spider things around us. If they actually, that does that mean we're gonna? I think we're all gonna die.
Well, that's a cheery assessment.
Yeah.
Like nobody has shown any symptoms. I'm sure we'll be fine. We need to find the others.
Oh, spit in your hand. Is the blood in your spit?
He spits.
Just looking at
Was
you
any
very
blood?
strangely.
Jose.
Yes.
Your saliva is a little pink.
No.
Do I see that?
I don't know.
Did you hold it up?
No, he's kind of just spits in it, so nothing.
Oh.
I'd like you to make an insight roll, though, Jose, if that's all right. But that's fantastic.
Nothing.
No, not me.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, you have. We have an inside 3.
Yes. Right. So, tell me, folks, what's the plan?
Well, I'm packing my bag.
You're heading back towards the Isabella.
Oh yeah, Jose, start the Isabella.
I'm interested in going to Sinkhole Beta, seeing if there are still some people there.
It's not our job to rescue people.
But
we need out of here while we can still survive. These people were exposed to this for long enough that it's killed them. We've not been exposed to it for as long as them. If we get out of here, we're going to live.
they might not be dead. Like they said that some of the monkeys were immune. They might have used that. They can fix people, can't they? They were scientists and things.
You think maybe they've learned to harness the immunity that the monkeys from the sinkhole have?
It's worth checking up on. I need to
Well,
see if Joa is alive.
If there is an antidote, they're the only people that are going to have worked on it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, do we know the way where, like, they said they're at what, the Beta base camp?
Yeah, we know the way.
All right. Well, the only thing we can do is see. Can we from the map that was, I guess, found in the laboratory from the information we have, can we determine how far it would take us to get there?
Yeah, it's about an hour's hike from here.
Of course it is.
All right. So, and what time of the day it is now?
I would say from now it's probably midday-ish.
Oh, it's hot.
Okay. So we should have enough time and, like, have Roach, kind of lead us through, and
What? Are you all mad?
We need to.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Antonio. I think we get on the boat and get back up the river.
But I cannot leave without seeing if Joa is alive and well. I need to get him out of here if these things are happening.
Do you think anybody's alive? Look what we've discovered here.
Yes, we
There's
have
nobody alive here.
one person, one evidence of somebody falling ill. The rest, in these notes, they say that they're at the other site. They might not have even been here when that happened.
Okay, go and look.
Exactly. There might be a chance that there are people still alive.
Meh.
I mean, it's only an hour trip, though. If we can see it there, if there's nobody there, we can always leave.
And get bit 1,000 times on the way. Come on, let's go to the boat. We go out. We go back to the main town. We get extra backup. Come.
And we get antibiotics. That's what they've not had. We need to get out here and get medicine and be okay. Staying here would be our death.
Seriously, these brothers are showing even more and more reasons why I don't trust them. They only care about money. They don't care about other people.
I care about surviving and living. I don't want to die.
I already said this is something that happens to me on a daily basis. And I'm still here. I grew up to be a healthy 14-year-old boy.
Well,
I'm
looking at my brother for guidance.
Yeah. If in doubt, ask the football player.
Well, he's my older brother. I look up to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to start heading off in the direction that I believe the bait
where are you going?
Yeah,
Where are you going? Where are you going?
I look at Roach and say, let's go.
Oh my God! Seriously, what are you doing? Are you really going in?
I need to
Start the
find
portals,
Joa.
yeah.
Oh my God!
We're going in.
Which we can't. Right. You can't go alone. Right. Oh my God! And I just pick up my bag and the gun and just. And I'm. Stupid. And I'm. Carlos, come on. We can't leave her on our own.
Right, let's go. These people are real stupidos.
Suits are stupid.
Okay, right. So we take a hike through the jungle. And it isn't too long until you come across the edge of what looks like a deep, crater into the earth.
Yeah, that's what a sinkhole is.
Down at the bottom somewhere, you can make. There's a small lake that you can make out. It's pretty big. This place. It's about a mile across and about a quarter of a mile deep.
Can I zoom that out?
First thing you kind of notice as you approach from the jungle is that they've left some markers. Whoever has been here before have left some markers, which show a path leading down the cliffside into the sink.
Do we see anyone in the immediate vicinity?
There's no one up.
Let's go.
Okay.
Get to the boat.
Get to the bottom of this. Okay, just jump.
No, you can. There is a winding path that leads down through the cliff
fun.
down.
I want to see him jump.
I mean, it is an option.
No, you see Jose just walks down.
Yeah.
Okay, Jose's leading the way. Okay, yeah. Antonio and Carlos, you're kind of left there standing at the edge, watching as these three start making their way down into the sinkhole.
Pendejos.
I just say, oh, fadese.
Nice.
And just head down, which is actually swearing in Brazilian.
Oh,
Nice.
I googled it.
well done.
Nice.
And
Mine was
Google
a
is
Spanish
always
swear word, but I didn't Google it, I knew it.
We do love a good swear word in a different language.
Pendejos.
right.
All of
I
you.
can help with that.
Pendejos.
We'll find out in a moment what that exactly means. But
Yep, there you go. Someone translated it.
yeah. Excellent. Okay. It's about 20 minutes as you wind your way down this path. There are markers along it indicating which way you need to head. Down at the base of the cliff, you find a
Oh.
Aye.
How does this camp look, as in state?
Well, that's a good question. It's looking similar to the other one, I suppose. There's no sign of anyone again, of course. There are still spiders about.
Of course.
The camp itself is on the edge of this small lake down in the sink. There are noticeably fewer spiders. There are still some milling around, but there are noticeably fewer of them. But there are more tents, of course. Another hut, or two huts. Less tents here as well. Still some cages, and they're the first thing that you can see you down the cliffside. And these are all full of monkeys. All of them.
Oh my God! I'm just gonna go over and let them out.
Yeah.
Living out.
they're alive. And once again, they get very excited when they kind of see you rattling on the bars of the cage. They all once again all look very malnourished.
Oh,
They've not eaten.
and go and unlock them all.
Oh, be careful.
Okay. I would like you to make some kind of roll here, Antonio, if you would be so kind. It's not an investigate. This is going to be a do something else if you're trying to open a cage. And the trick here is to open one of these cages without getting bitten. That's the deal.
The others didn't bite me.
Sorry?
The others didn't bite me.
Because Roach was there.
He calmed them down.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So other actions then.
It's going to be other. Do something else.
Right, I'm gonna be. It's gonna be my. Yeah, I'm gonna do it with risk your. My.
You're gonna risk your sanity.
Yes.
Okay. Now you were a football player. You used to. I like to think your reflexes are perhaps a little bit quicker than.
Oh, and I used to like nick cars and stuff. Well, no, cars wrong years. I used to nick things, so yeah.
It's interesting. Okay.
Football only.
I don't know what that means. Oh dear! Look at that. Oh dear. Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear!
And you succeed really in getting extra, but more than you wanted, and probably make.
Insight roll.
Yeah. Oh, piss pants.
I'll tell you what. You make that insight roll right now.
Hey. Oh, nice.
Oh, what a shame.
Does that make my insight go up?
No, you just tell me. Okay, so you approach the cage, and the monkey's going absolutely nuts as you get closer and closer to this cage. But you deftly flip open the catch on the top, and the monkey jumps out. It's terrified, by the way.
Nuts. I've still got a few nuts left.
And as it leaps out of the cage, you have this strange sensation where you feel the blood pumping around your body. You feel it moving within you. You feel your pulse intensely within your head. You hear it as the blood rushes through you. And it's incredibly unnerving. As this monkey stares at you as it climbs out of the cage and jumps off and runs away into the rainforest.
Well, that's a bit discombobulating. Do I have to do a roll for every cage?
No. I won't. I won't do that.
Right.
Drive her insane just by monkey cage.
That would have been cool. Because you passed, I feel like I should make you do it again. But, no.
But you don't want to sleep on the sofa tonight.
Oh, there's that as well.
Bribery is
Okay.
So, can I get the rest out?
Yeah, but let's just say you released them all. It was just as you were doing that, you were suddenly... It was like this weird sensation. You were suddenly very, very aware of the motion within your own body. The blood pumping around all of your veins and your arteries. That movement, the constricting and loosening of your arteries is...
I want to check out those nets. If they are nets.
Okay.
I don't know if they are, but on the right side of the laboratory, I see something like nets.
Yeah, I see where you're looking. Did you want to do that straight away, or are you wanting to look at the rest of it first as you're walking through? I mean, you're all here as a group at the moment, but you've just watched Antonio release all of these monkeys.
Just wait for a minute while they dissipate.
Yeah.
Well, I see the monkeys and I'm thinking like I could have eased him down before, but okay. I might go into the lab first, see what this lab has to show.
Okay. Anybody else got any preference as to where they're going first, or are you all heading in the same direction?
I'm gonna go check out.
Do you want to check out the stores again, Antonio?
We need some bullets, so
Yeah.
good call.
So you two head off
Stores.
towards that. Sure.
You sure the brothers aren't American? Because they want weapons, guns.
I think they are afraid. Jose.
We are
Jim.
South American.
Yeah, they're still American, just South American.
Yeah, I know all about that. So, yeah. No, I said, actually, I'm walking over to the tents, kind of
There's
getting,
one.
yeah, so he's going over to that one, giving a quick look where everybody's heading off and just, taking out where he has to go to later. He heads over there with his machete still in hand and just watching around.
Yeah. Cool. One, right. So the first tent you come to, once again, it's made from this heavy weatherproof canvas. It looks in very good condition. Opening it up, it's quite untidy in there. And a quick search around, you don't find anything of interest in that particular tent. Just a few items of clothing. You're probably quite relieved that there doesn't appear to be any kind of blood or any kind of violence that has occurred here. It just appears to be that whoever was in here was just very, very untidy. Things are scattered around all over the place, no particular order. Clothes thrown onto bedrolls, but nothing untoward, which is kind of a relief to you. Giovanni?
Okay.
Giovanna, are you doing anything?
I think I'll probably follow Roach to the laboratory, but I think the main thing I wanted to check out was like if there was evidence of another boat on this lake, like if you travelled to the other side or anything like that, because it's still at the forefront of her mind trying to find Joa.
Sure.
So.
Just before the laboratory, you can't quite see it, but just in front of it, there is another tent.
Oh yeah, I'll probably head to that way. It's just having a bit of a nosy on the ways to checking out the lake, I think. So yeah.
Unfortunately for you, inside this particular there are two bedrolls, two camp beds, once again. One of them is stained once again with blood. Lying on top of it is another journal of some description. There are a few spiders here, if you've already noticed. They don't seem to be crawling around all over the bloodied remains of the bed as they were in base camp.
Yeah, I'll go and pick up the journal and have a gander.
Once more, never journal.
Okay, so this is Dino's journal. Dino suspects the expedition's real motives. He believes that the sinkholes, whilst fascinating, are a cover for something else. He suspects that Tortoroli and Coelho are administering drugs via the daily malaria treatment. Dino has been skipping it whenever he can. He also notes that a temple in the sinkhole beta has a powerful hold on Coelho. Dino doesn't like the temple. It is infested with spiders and gives him the creeps. Micah took a fragment of the carved stone from the temple as a souvenir. Someone has stolen it, and Dino suspects it was one of the labourers. Okay, so upon reading that, I will come out and look for Roach, and head to the laboratory to look for Roach.
Okay, Roach, you have gone ahead to the laboratory. Searching the stores, by the way, Carlos and Antonio, you seem to be looking for ammunition of some kind. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You get to this particular hut. It's padlocked shut, but it doesn't take long for you to smash the lock off. And peering inside, you are disappointed to find a lot of spoiled food once again, and machine parts, probably spares for a generator or some. Unfortunately for you, no ammunition.
Okay. Antonio, de nada.
He doesn't want you to go all American up their ass.
Nothing.
Place is just abysmal. Right, well, let's go see
And
what
there's
the
no
others
one
are doing.
here. Let's get back to the boat.
I still don't know what they want. Yeah, we'll go back and we'll just go find the others.
Okay. Roach, you arrive at the laboratory. What's Jose up to? That's the other thing. Where's Jose?
He finishes checking the rest of the tents to see if there's anything else in there.
Okay, so you probably caught up with Giovanna at that point. She's found another notebook. I assume.
Yeah, I will share
look
it. I was heading to Roach just to make him aware, because he viewed the other stone, and that we've specifically found what it's for. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So Roach, this is a smaller version of the laboratory that was found at base camp. Obviously, they were using it for studying the local flora, fauna, and injecting them with test drugs, it would appear. It's in pretty poor condition. Mold seems to be contaminating most of the compound chemicals that are within. But searching around within, you do find once more another journal. Isn't this great? It's journals akimbo, this place. This is for you, Roach, to examine.
Okay. Quello's journal is a list of the personnel in the expedition, along with various chemical compounds and results, if any. He is experimenting on the people here, although it isn't clear who else is in on his experiments. Clearly Tortoroli and Pascal, at least, are also involved. The chemical cocktails are administered with the daily malaria injections and are referred to only as compound numbers such as compound 5, 6, and so on. The compounds have also been given to the monkeys. Compound 13 seems to have made the monkey they tested it on immune to the disease affecting other monkeys. Quello also gave it to Alameo, but it is too early to see its effects. That's it.
This is fucked up.
But at least we know which one to drink or to use to be immune to the disease.
I mean, that's a fact.
But was it in the fridge that's now gone off?
Well, it was in the last camp. There was numbered things in the fridge, wasn't there?
But they were all destroyed.
Yeah.
And in the other camp, the fridge was also unpowered for quite a while, so I don't think you can trust that.
Yeah. So, what's the plan, folks?
Well, if there's nothing more in this lab, I want to check those nets. So I was actually going there.
Yeah, okay. That's something you can do. Sorry, I'm not doing anything here at all.
Oh, he is, I can hear it.
Nothing happening here.
I was just going to say, I would have said, because Jose was with me, so I would have told him why I wanted to see Roach. just to confirm, obviously show him that it is from a temple. Because if he's from around this part, he might know of a temple nearby. But I'm gonna just take a minute and maybe find a perch.
Yeah. Okay. This is for you. Carlos. You feel something moving under your shirt.
Under my shirt?
Yeah.
Splat!
So you do that. You pat it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There is a bit of a sting as you do that. And you kind of feel something crunch as your hand slaps your shirt.
I put my hand up my shirt and I look. Is it one of the spiders?
It is one of the spiders.
Bastard.
I mean, if you hadn't felt it, you would never have known that it was there. Yeah. Okay.
I'm checking in my clothes and in my pockets and I'm pulling like my pants to see like if there's
just to
any
make sure
on my person. Yeah.
Okay. You find one or two more, like in your pocket, perhaps one in your. Yeah. You kind of throw them out. They scurry away into the undergrowth.
Little bastard bit me.
Mm.
Come on, Antonio. Let's get back to the boat. No one's here. There's no one going to pay us. There's no job.
I know. We'll right. Let's round them all up. Let's tell them. Let's get out of here. There's nobody alive. They've obviously all turned to mush.
You need to make them listen, Antonio.
I've
won't
tried. The thing is, if Jose don't come with us, we ain't going anywhere.
Okay, so
well,
what is your plan?
I'm gonna whisper to Antonio so that Josie doesn't hear this. This is just whisper to Antonio. Josie doesn't know that there's no shells in these shotguns.
Right, we'll use that as a last resort.
No, we use that as a first resort.
I'm pretty keen to get out of here, like.
Yeah, me too.
Haven't you guys noticed anything, actually?
What?
The spiders are following us.
Are they? They're everywhere. How can they be following us? Everywhere you look, there's a bloody spider.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They were already here, weren't they?
We don't have the rock with us, do we?
Should we brought the rock with us?
I believe I got the rock with me, yeah.
Did you bring it with you, Roach?
I did it, yeah.
Okay.
I got it with me, because I picked it up, so...
Maybe that's why they're following us, because they were originally surrounded it in that one room.
If that's why I got bit, I'm going to bounce that rock off your head. Roach.
Hey, toss it in the lake, let them go in, start swimming in the lake and let them die.
Boat will be one-fifth faster on the way back.
Apparently they do have a taste for you, Carlos.
Ooh.
They have a taste for us all at this point.
There's no boat on the lake, Giovanni.
Okay. Is there like any...
There is a path. Where on the map there that Roach has seen the what they are nets. Not really nets. There's actually a path that's been cut through the undergrowth.
Might be a passage to the temple. That's being named in the journal.
I think at this point I'm going to take a leaf out of Carlos's book and get a burning stick.
Okay. Yeah, a hot stick. That's what you need.
because it said the temple was full of spiders. And then
Yeah, let's go and make the first invention of man: fire.
Well, I mean, there's fuel barrels. If we got to, you can probably make an improvised one.
I mean, that is a good point. Yeah, you could kind of dip that into the
Just take
fuel,
a
I
piece of
guess.
cloth,
Get some cloth, dip it in the fuel.
dunk it in the fuel, and light it.
That sounds like a cool
Turn the
idea.
ember stick into a proper flaming torch.
Yeah.
and then I'll just be talking to the others, because I assume we're like kind of congregated just after the laboratory.
Yeah.
Because I went and sat down. I don't know if the others would have come over. I mean, I know the brothers haven't yet.
No.
No. One of the
I'm
two
just
brothers was smacking a spider against his chest.
Jose, carry on. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of the things about this. Like, is there anything that we can make Molotov cocktails with, like something like that, or no?
I mean, there's fuel. I mean, what you're talking about, like some kind of bottle or something. There is ruined food in the hut. There's probably something in there that maybe you could use.
Okay.
Potentially.
He would look around and see what he could find.
You're having difficulty seeing at the moment, Jose. Yeah. What's everybody else up to? I mean, you found you go into the hut, Jose. You find some canisters with ruined food in. You can certainly break open those and perhaps use something. Tear some cloth off the tent or anything like that if you wish to make something. But you're having difficulty. It's like your eyes are feeling quite gritty and itchy, and yeah.
So he's just sitting there like, and it's like, he's like feeling worse. But he tries to, not to show it, but he's like, like stomping around and looking around what he could do.
Yeah. You want to manufacture like a Molotov cocktail type thing?
Yes, I think that would be other skill.
I'm not even sure you would need to make a roll for that. To be fair, you just need something to put fuel in and stick a cloth in it, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That's all it is.
I don't think we need a roll from you for that, dude. I think you can probably just do that. Anybody else? Sorry?
It's not that hard.
No, I don't. I
was thinking when I see Jose rubbing his eyes, I'm going to try and get the keys off the boat out of his pocket.
Oh, that's definitely going to be do something else. And I think, Jose, if you wanted to do an opposed roll here, so you both roll, whoever highest is going to win.
Okay.
You may. Yeah.
Is that other actions or a failure roll?
I would say this is other activities. You're both.
Yeah, of course I've calculated the mathematical possibility of executing this.
Yeah, he's using some roll. Let's say, what's the chance we could do this one?
And I'm going to risk, I'm not going to get in my occupational expertise, but I'm going to risk my mind to succeed.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do it too.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
Got a 6 on it. Nice.
Yeah.
Jose's got a 4.
Yeah.
Was that yours before that, Carlos? Was that yours? It was.
Yeah.
Carlos has got a 6.
Do I need to make an insight roll then?
You will need to make an insight roll, my friend.
Lovely.
See, this is the moment where I'd love to like make.
Oh, okay. However, as you approach Jose to grab the key from his pocket, he's a little distracted. You can see, I mean, you're all sweating. It's the rainforest. It's very warm, humid. But he is properly drenched with sweat. You're starting to see perhaps blotches appearing on his skin, and his eyes are bloodshot. They're almost completely red at this point, and you see he's been rubbing at them. And perhaps it's while he's rubbing at them that you reach into his pocket to get the keys and snatch them out of his pocket without him noticing. You're distracted by that, Jose, so you don't notice that happen. But Carlos, you have the keys.
Carlos will look at his brother, give a wink, and just start slowly moving in the direction out of here.
I follow his lead.
You're following. Excellent. Right. Okay. So, Roach and Giovanna and Jose,
My turn. Look.
what are you doing?
I wanted to go towards the
You're heading towards the temple, of course,
Yeah.
because you want to get to the bottom of this, don't you? This is your
I
calling.
want to find out, yeah, because that technically is what my master has asked me to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Giovanna,
It's
you
part
want,
of my training.
yeah, are you wanting
And if I
to?
want to be a Jedi, I mean shaman.
Yeah, I wanted to go with him. That's why I wanted to make the torch, to go through and head to the temple. Because it's one of them. Because going through all the journals in the mind, it's like they saw this piece from the temple. It ended up in the same tent that I know Joa was in. So maybe they went back to the temple after whatever happened at the camp. So it's like it's still just on this course to go and try and find Joa.
Yeah, absolutely. So you striding off. Jose, which way are you heading? Are you going with?
Yeah, he will follow her, and if I don't know if Roach is going to, but he just kind of like nods to Roach to follow through if he wants to join them.
Okay. Does anybody notice Carlos and Antonio slipping away?
I don't think I really can right now.
No.
Cheer boat
Okay.
still in.
I don't know. I think maybe Giovanna would look back, just because obviously Antonio came with her when she first started wandering off at the boat. So now she's wandering off again. It's just a look back to check.
Okay. And I guess you two nowhere to be seen by this, right?
No, we're out of it.
You're halfway up the cliff.
Yeah. It's like these idiots.
Perfect. Right. Okay.
You see,
There's
I
about
put my distrust in the right person. not the
yeah.
right people.
I think you're probably right. So it's about a 30-minute walk that you guys are making. It kind of leads you up out of the sinkhole, following this trail. And it isn't too long before you can see above the tree line this shape.
Oh.
Mayan temple.
Yeah. Rising up out of the tree. It's a 6-tiered ziggurat. You can see an opening near the top. Do you approach?
Yeah.
The three of you, now realizing that it is just the three of you, climb the steps and enter through the entrance of this temple. It's constructed from stone that's probably quarried from the sinkhole that you were just in. It's very easy to. It's dark and dingy inside, and you can feel cobwebs brushing against your face as you enter. Spiders are absolutely everywhere inside this thing. Inside, as your eyes adjust to the gloom, there is a circular pit in the center. And there's movement from within inside the pit.
Mm-hmm.
I try and I lift my torch up a little bit to try and see. Not that it'll shed much light going down the pit, but you know.
Yeah. You shine your torch over the side, and you see a swirling gooey mass of red flecked with brown and black. And it seems to be moving by itself, swirling around. And as you approach, you feel it almost move towards you and start ascending the side of the pit, kind of sliming its way up towards you. It doesn't reach you. It's almost like it's trying to reach out to you. I'd like you to make insight roll, please.
Yeah.
My master told me that I would know the evil when I see it, so I think I know this.
Yeah, so I've
As evil.
gained a point. So I think at seeing that, I think the best one in this situation would just be sheer panic of like, I'd probably start trying to bat it back and just batting everything away with this fire. And just
Oh yeah,
waving
you've
it
got your
around.
thing.
Yeah,
You wave this thing around. Sure, yeah. Let
I don't know.
hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume the other guys weren't too close.
Yeah, what's Roach doing? I'm interested to see what Roach's reaction here is, because you can see the pit. You see Giovanna approach the pit. Something clearly has frightened her in some way. You can't see into it from where you are. What are you doing?
Well, if I also see the creature, or the thing, what is...
Do you have a look? Do you look?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So make an insight roll for me, my friend.
I keep it together, barely.
Wow.
Right, nicely done. Perhaps Roach was almost expecting this to a degree. This thing,
Well,
it
my master
swirls.
did choose me to fight the evil as my
He
test.
did,
I would
and
never
you
fail.
definitely sense the presence of evil here. It's almost like a pit full of living blood. It's moving. It has a purpose, and it's trying to reach out. You get the sense of something that is hungry, and it's waiting for something. What do you do, Roach?
I am now really like, this is what I've trained for. This is my test.
I'd like you to make an investigation. You would.
And which one do I have to mark?
No, I just want you to investigate. Click the investigate button on your character sheet.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
click the first one for the human die.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to help you. Right, okay. As you get closer, you're examining this thing. You can see around the edge there are items of clothing, and items, just regular items that a person would carry, personal effects. That's what I was getting at. And they're all kind of scattered around the edge of this pit.
Oh god.
You look up towards the ceiling, and you can see there hanging there above the pit several flimsy shapes. They are vaguely humanoid.
Oh god.
They appear to be... When I say fluid, they're very, very thin. They are skeletal almost. Perhaps skeletons covered with skin. A bit like the body you found back at base camp in the hut. It's as if all of their flesh has oozed out and down into the pit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to make another insight roll if you.
You would
And
be
I
afraid.
suspect.
Wow. I roll well now with my inside
You
rolls.
do,
Oh my
you
gosh.
do, you do.
Another 2.
Giovanna, I think you will probably notice this more or less at the same time. Do you want to make an insight roll as well? Just because of you're seeing these things. You see items of clothing here, and you scan them frantically, looking for something that perhaps belongs to Joa.
I think that's the only thing that's holding me together right now.
Yeah.
Not being.
Well, that's what you get is the fact you don't see any of his belonging.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing. Which brings me around to Jose.
So he's like, he barely could see. His eyes are kind of just like he's looking around, kind of like, just seeing what their reactions and stuff. And then literally they're freaking out, like looking into the pit. And I don't know if he can hear any, like, like anything moving in there or whatever.
Yeah.
His mind is getting a little weird. So what he does, he kind of pulls out a lighter, sets one of the malls, and then chunks it right into the pit.
Okay. Did you just get the handout that I sent to you a few minutes ago?
About the
well, if you look in your in the journal tab up here, or you go to handout, and it should be handout number 20. Do you have that one?
Yeah.
Just quickly read that.
Oh, okay.
Just a second. Yeah.
Wow.
I want to quickly jump back while you're reading that. I'm going to quickly jump back to Carlos and Antonio.
Ooh.
Really, there's no need. Just carry on with them because we've finished the game on our own chats here.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, we're out of it. We've gone. We've been smug for the last 10 minutes in Discord.
I mean, that's hilarious in itself. You arrive back at base camp. Everything is exactly as it was when you left it. The spiders are still crawling everywhere, of course. The Isabella is still moored up alongside the jetty. What are you doing?
Starting the boat.
Yeah, we're out there.
Okay.
I'll
climb aboard.
Why is he being so smug about it?
You climb aboard the boat. Or you almost climb aboard the boat. Until you notice the huge number of spiders crawling along the handrails as you stand there staring at this thing.
Start swiping them away with a fire stick.
Okay. Yeah, you can try that. Yeah, you're brushing them away. More just seem to be coming. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. I'd like you both to make insight rolls to start with.
Oh, we finished our story. You're changing it.
Ooh, keep it together.
Together. You don't think there's a happy ending?
Oh, nice, Antonio, nice.
I'm keeping it together.
I only say one thing: karma's a bitch.
Yeah, right. It is.
Bless you.
But there are thousands and thousands of these spiders. They're all over. They are absolutely infesting the Isabella as it stands at this moment. And I think our closing scene for you two guys.
Wait, what do you mean closing scene? You can't kill it.
It's probably as we watch you desperately try to clear away these spiders. But they're just swarming and swarming. They're crawling all up your legs. They're all over your boots. They're crawling into your clothing. And they start biting.
But I've always been really smug.
Yeah, I know. and maybe our final moment for watching is the two of you writhing on the deck of the Isabella, covered in spiders, then biting into you, your skin blotching over almost immediately, your eyes starting to weep blood. And we'll jump back to the other guy.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
I do want to throw a note for the boat that Jose actually had a kill switch for his boat that nobody knew except him, so they couldn't even probably turn it over without him knowing.
Oh, well.
I mean, that would have been a nice way to fuck him over. I think we could have had a failure roll for that. That would have been great.
So actually, what all this is going on right there is like, his thought about the Molotov, he just is like, sits it down, and he pulls his machete as they're looking right there. He walks up behind Giovanna.
Yeah.
Grabs her by the head and slits her throat.
Now, do we have an opposed roll here? Is this a thing?
What? Oh. Yes.
Okay, I'd like you both to make a roll. For this one.
I would say my occupational boat captain because cutting stuff. So
you know what? I'm going to say yes because it's getting late. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I will do the mind thing. So I would risk my sanity for that. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna.
Well,
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna risk my sanity as well.
So I got to roll sanity anyway. So yeah, it's at 4. So yeah.
Absolutely. Excellent. Roach.
yeah.
As you're standing watching, contemplating what your next move is, how to defeat this evil, and it's sloshing around in the pit in front of you, you notice Jose step up behind Giovanna with the machete. Her blood spills out and down into the pit, and there's this you almost hear a sigh coming from this thing as her blood merges with the thing in the pit. What are you doing?
Well, this surprises me because
yeah, make an insight roll, and I'm gonna fucking get you at least.
Oh yeah, it goes up.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But I don't have weapons, and I'm only a 15-year-old boy.
I know, right?
Panic.
There are some steps. There are some, you become aware. There's like a spiral staircase that leads up around the side of the temple walls, that leads up towards the ceiling, towards where these things are hanging by their wrists and by their necks.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get there.
Okay. Jose, what are you doing?
As he drops her body, he looks at a kid, and he just walks after him with a machete and runs and tackles him.
Are
Brilliant.
you putting on a full white facial mask?
No, this isn't Scream.
No, I'm not talking about Scream. I'm talking more like Michael Myers.
Oh, Myers. Okay. Was he a machete guy? I can't remember.
Machete.
No, Machete's Jason. That was that's
Jason
yeah,
Voorhees, yeah.
of course, yeah.
like Halloween. He's more is like the white mask with the hair and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was the William Shatner mask, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first one. They just found a mask. They're like, all right, this, they just bleached it white. So
Yeah. It's not that. This is all Jose. Red eyes and blotchy skin. Let's make a roll, guys, to see.
That could be the other action.
Yeah. Whether Jose can catch up with Roach.
Investigate rolls?
No, this is going to be a do something else roll.
The other actions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do the insanity thing, and I don't know if this would be an occupational expertise.
It is within human capabilities, at least.
It is. Yeah, you certainly get 1 die. You definitely do.
Am I gonna risk my mind?
I don't know.
Why the hell not? We're
I mean,
almost done.
yeah, why the hell not? Let's do it. Oh shit!
Oh no!
So close.
It was.
Yeah, still got a 4. I'm still at a 4.
Jose, what happens?
He, he grabs he tackles the kid, and he looks at him, presses his head right against that there. He flips the machete down, puts the kid's throat toward the staircase, and just go.
Oh.
Oh my god.
And as he does that, he just kind of walks down, sits against the wall, pulls out a small bourbon of alcohol, drains it, and just kind of and drops.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. Down the road, not across.
Yeah, we're doing for dramatic license. We're going for dramatic license.
Yeah, it's the movie thing. It's like,
Yeah. and the blood from both of those bodies trickles down into the pit. The thing in the pit, satiated, sighs outwardly. Then everything goes.
Wow.
I think that'll do for now, won't it, guys? I think. Yeah.
In another Cthulhu game, I did not survive.
That's right.